Hi, everyone. I'm Krista Rosen, and welcome to the Intuitive Parent course, a practical how to guide for daily life. This is Module 1 called The People in Our Lives. Feel free to take a look at the previous modules. It's recommended, of course, to listen to these modules all in order if you can. And again, thank you for spending this time with me. A little bit about me: I'm the author of two self help books, an energy healer, and an intuitive guide. Most importantly, I am a mom of two adult children who've had amazing recovery journeys. I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You have the natural ability to connect to your intuition. We all have intuition, and it's just about remembering how to connect to it. So as we engage with people throughout our day, working with our intuition can make the biggest impact on our overall health and well-being. So I'm here to tell you that I believe in you. You already know how to do it. You do. You already know, and you've always had the ability, and now is the perfect time to focus on it. And when we focus on it, and as we focus on anything, this improves whatever it is that we're focusing on. Family is often the most challenging. However, the world our children draw us into, and it becomes more integrated, the more impactful their world goes for us and for them as time goes by, as we know. We'll continue to work with the informed intuition method and our tools, the other tools to work through this next module, such as the soul drivers and any of the belief work exercises we're going to do, and any templates that you've created. So here we go. Culturally, as we know, the dominant narrative around family often centers on hardship, stress, and self sacrifice. And this is in part due to the structures and systems that we've been born into, living in a largely patriarchal society. And yes, family life can be challenging, especially as we know when our children have chronic conditions and symptoms to care for. And we know that family can also be joyful, deeply joyful, nourishing, and expansive. We're allowed to experience both, and we can experience both within the same minute or hour. We can experience sovereignty and interdependence, frustration and love, overwhelm and fulfillment. So, right, it's a roller coaster. Back in the day, we would call these blocks to our intuition or to the truth hang-ups. Does anybody remember hang-ups? Today, we have more nuance to language, such as beliefs, limiting beliefs, narratives, internalized programming, inherited patterns, the patriarchy, organized religion, and so on. And then there are children, and they have that unique ability to trigger us, not on purpose, but not because they're doing anything wrong, but because they mirror us and they're showing us who we are, and what we don't want anymore and what we want more of. And in this module, we'll explore this intersection of family, intuition, belief, and healing. And don't worry, this is not a module about how it's all your fault, because it's not. As we talked about in the world module, acceptance of situations or difficult people brings forth more peace and relaxation and calm, which build our connection to our intuition, which is why we're here and talking about it. And again, acceptance doesn't mean we need to agree. It's just, or think something that's right. We don't need that. We don't need to agree or for somebody else to agree. It's just accepting that this is what's going on right now with a person or situation, and that's it. And when we do that, our nervous system can relax. Our nervous system can say, okay, she got the message, she hears us, she acknowledges that this is what's going on, and now the emergency is over, and I can take a step back and sit back and wait for the next emergency. And so I'm here for you. I've got you um, throughout this whole module and the other modules. And if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to reach out anytime. Here is, as always, the copyright notice and the terms of use. Basically, this is all copyrighted material and it's only for personal use. If you have any questions about this stuff, please reach out, and I'd be happy to work with you. Okay, so here are the questions that we will hopefully answer as we work our way through this module, and we're going to circle back to some of these, at the end. Refer to your companion PDF for your template work. If you've done any so far, your soul drivers. And there's also an additional process that I've added into the companion PDF that will help you organize your thoughts around these people that are top of mind. And it's this module is going to help you with if there's an action step or not. It's going to help you answer, what's really going on, give you some clarity. And this is also a way to help you answer those open-ended questions, such as, what's happening, and, the truth of what's going on, anything that's that you weren't aware of. Answers, yes or no questions are amazing. We often just start with yes or no questions when we're at working on a multifaceted or big question, right? It has many pieces. What's the answers? We can answer questions using the informed intuition method, doing our homework, getting everything kind of set up in our mind, process, put everything together, have our options laid out, A, B, and C, as we do with the informed intuition method, so that we can then ask those questions for the highest and best good, for the highest and best way, for today, for this moment in carpool, for whatever, 3 ways to say something. You can ask your intuition to help you once you have that, your mind all sorted the things out, and you have your parameters based on the work that you've done. You can pull together, these main ideas and themes and issues about these people, in your life. And I do want to say to remember to pace yourself with this. Go to pace that's right for you. You don't want to trigger yourself, overwhelm yourself. This work is about divine timing, and there's no forcing or pushing. It just doesn't work, because it's not mental work. It's emotional work. It's intuitive work that require you to be calm and measured and hydrated and somewhat at peace. You have some privacy so you can really do some of this inner work. And you can even ask your intuition an open-ended question about, what is the issue with this person? What's really going on, as I mentioned. So here's some of the questions that we can answer that we will kind of go through. The first one is, how do I manage my child's relationship with so-and-so, right? So you can do your homework, step 1 of the informed intuition method, and then you can tune in with, whatever the options are that you have, or an approach, or if you've written out a text message or a phone call, or you've rehearsed it, mental rehearsal. You can have your options out, and then you can close your eyes and take a few mindful breaths. I always do at least 3. You can do more, as many as you want. And then you can ask, should I do this, this, or this? And get to that answer, and just listen and wait to see what comes up for you. You may see a vision of something. You may hear something, a word. You may feel something, feel good, or feel dread. You may know something, suddenly just something, you just know it's right. This is what to do or not to do, as you manage your child's relationship with certain people. Um, this is often something that comes up is about trust. And trust comes from your intuition. It's not a mental thing. You do the mental homework, the analytical, approach of figuring everything out, and then it's trust comes from your intuition. It comes from a peaceful, that calm place where you can really tune in and get the information from your nervous system of all the other pieces from your senses, and to see, so for example, is this person trustworthy to confide in? Oftentimes it's a trust, right? Trusting yourself, trusting other people, trusting a situation. So you can tune in and then you can ask, is this person trustworthy? And then just feel into it, into all the senses, all of your beautiful nervous system is out there like a spider that's bringing in this information to you to then feel and know and think and hear all of the whole enchilada of information. And so it's going to change your life. It really is. And you can even give yourself again those parameters too, right, that you have worked through with, is it to confiding in someone, what's the benefit of it? Maybe you've worked it out in your mind. Like if it's, over 20% beneficial to confide in this person, then I will. And then you can ask your intuition, is it, you know, is it going to be significantly beneficial in whatever outcome you want to confide in this person? So you can, that's why those parameters, the mental work is important. And then it's easy for your intuition. You can feel into it and you'll get your answer. Knowing when to intervene, right? So looking, doing that mental work, step one, and then asking your intuition, and then also the how to intervene, right? Is it a phone call? Is it a text? Is it an in-person thing? Is it a simple acknowledgement? Is there a bigger conversation? And you can lay those things out and tune into each of them, taking those 3 mindful breaths, and then to just sit back and wait for any of that intuitive information to come to you, and just sitting back and allowing it to come. There isn't there is no forcing or pushing of that. That's the brain's work. We can force and push our beautiful brain to exhaustion if we want to, and we all do it, right? Okay, so how to navigate unhealthy patterns, the same thing. If you have a scenario and these patterns, and what to do about them, and oftentimes they're multifaceted. They have many, just different working parts to address, and doing that mental work first, and then moving into your intuition with a more of a streamlined, narrowing it down to a few questions, and then ask your intuition for that help. So, and then anger, resentment pattern. We all have these patterns of just anger or resentment, or just habits, like negative habits that we return to as default. And so we need to, there's many approaches to catching ourselves with these thought patterns. And you can ask your intuition for help with those, navigating those, and supporting you in those, and what to do, if there's any action steps to take in supporting you with those things. And also to see if there's any, bottom beliefs or other, limiting beliefs that are keeping this alive and well. Oftentimes, what keeps these things alive and well are things such as believing in like family patterns, ancestral inherited patterns and cycles. And it's not to say they're not true, because of course they certainly are. Multi-generational patterning, inherited memories, patterns. But I'm here to tell you that we now have the technology, and this is part of what I love presenting to parents, is that we live at a time where we know that we can break free of these patterns, that these beliefs and thoughts are just what they are, beliefs and thoughts. that through conscious focus that we can reset ourselves to new thoughts and patterns that we want, and that we're not this hopeless victim to these patterns, right? I had a very traumatic childhood, and I came from two parents that were my just really bad personality disorders, I would say, and other habits. And I really thought that I could never escape those patterns, and I had a lot of like guilt and shame about these where I came from, and that I was an inherently flawed and bad person. And so it took me a while to get to that point, and then getting to those points and clearing those beliefs and clearing those programs out, just like a computer in my mind, to like delete those things and then to download replacement beliefs that are the truth, that I'm not this flawed, damaged person, and that I can choose and sift and sort through these beliefs, keeping the ones that work for me, that are aligned, that are of merit, and then others that I don't want anymore, and to clear those, and to believe that I am, a good person, and that I'm important, and that I'm loved and supported and worthy, and all of those things. And so I know there's a lot of us that come from that place, right? A lot of shame, and so we can clear those things. And things like shame or guilt, they don't just suddenly appear. Like, I suddenly feel ashamed. I'm guilty right now. It comes from a thought or a belief. So looking at those thoughts and beliefs of like, where did that come from? Why do I feel ashamed? Why do I feel not worthy? And then just looking under the hood, why do I feel this way, or why do I respond to these people in my life? Um, and then look at it and analyze it, being your own behavior. Is this really true? Am I really a flawed person? Is that really true? And so we can clear those, acknowledge and allow that this is where we came from, and also acknowledge the hardiness and resilience and perhaps wit or capability or intelligence, perhaps, that you also inherited. Um, and other fun things like maybe a sense of humor or something. I don't know. So, and sifting and sorting through those, and we can clear the things that we don't want. This is your life, and you get to decide. And you also get to decide, being at the helm of your ship, of your family's, at the helm of the family, or being a parent, to just choose what's important to you, right? And that's why that soul driver exercise is important to do. So anyway, blah blah blah. Getting back to getting off the tangent here and back into these people in our lives, right? How do I enjoy people in my life that perhaps are addicted to their phones, or I'm addicted to my phone, or how do I control certain behaviors, and how do I navigate quarrels and fights, and sibling fights, and estrangement with family, right? Like, we've all gone through the pandemic, and we all have estrangements of some sort, right? Or have gone through it on some level. Getting along with certain difficult people, like, we know who they are, right? Like, it's so clear who these people are and how difficult they are. And you might even have, external validation of other people thinking they're difficult too. And, how do you navigate those things? And it's really with staying the course of being in your power, and taking back power from, these external roles and scripts we've inherited, and other belief systems, and other places that we've given authority, and taking those back so that we can answer these questions easier by doing this work, this mental work of, kind of jotting things down, getting it sorted in our head, involving this beautiful mind, and then moving in, distilling, and then tuning in and asking, is this of service? Will this help my child succeed at, whatever it is, or for me to get through this holiday, or whatever it may be, the questions. So these are very common questions that I promise you can answer. I'm not going to say everything's going to be super easy, but and easier as you get to know yourself more by becoming more of who you are, letting in and allowing and listening to more of who you are, to all of who you are. And all of who you are involves, all of who you are involves the non-physical part of you, this life force energy, your soul, your true self that's right here, that has all the answers. And she or he or they are connected to the collective, to the world around you, and has all the answers. And so it's just connecting to it. So, and if that sounds crazy, that's okay too. Just consider it. Just play with me here for a little bit. Okay, more playing around. We're going to clear some beliefs. So those limiting beliefs are just programs that we can delete. They're not permanent. They can be changed. They just carry a lower vibrational charge. These fear-based beliefs or perhaps inherited beliefs. And so we can just clear them by tapping and clearing them out. As a reminder, here are the upward arrows that indicate that these are limiting beliefs that they were clearing. Because if we are believing or thinking these things consciously or unconsciously, if it's this list here or something that's not on the list, that's what you're putting out there. That's what you're serving up for the universe, and the universe is going to send that frequency back to you. So when we clear these things, it opens the pathway to your intuition, to your true self, so that you can then receive what you do want more of. So here we go. So you can sit back, you can close your eyes, and you can just allow these to clear. You can tap along if you want on your chest, your hand. Let's see, I'm going to move over here so you can see your forehead, the top of your head, or not tap. You can also just listen, or you can even jot down some beliefs that you want to clear that aren't on this list that you want to just go ahead and do right along with us here as we do this exercise. Okay, ready? So just think about in your head how these beliefs are not you. They're not really who you are, and you can let them go. The ones that, that apply to you. So here we go. It's a crazy world. People are addicted to their devices. I can't connect, feel seen, heard, or understood by others on their phones. People lack vitality and a zest for life. Kids aren't kids anymore. My child isn't safe around so and so. My spouse dominates and controls everything. My spouse or partner ruins my plans. I can't forgive. If I forgive, this means I condone. We're never getting anywhere. Things never change. My feelings and preferences aren't important and are always ignored. It's not safe to see my family and loved ones suffer. I am responsible for reversing my family's suffering. I take on my family or loved ones' suffering. It is my fault. I recommend pausing if you'd like, taking a few mindful breaths, get a drink of water. It's a lot, right? To clear these things. Anything else that you feel about yourself with regard to the people in your life? It's a good time to clear these limiting beliefs. Okay, next we're going to download replacement beliefs. So these are often just opposites of those limiting beliefs. And here is your download sign to help you remember. It's like mentally saying yes to download these new belief systems and new thoughts. Even if you don't think you believe in them or it's possible, just feel ready to believe, to download, just to say yes to the programming. And you can again write down any belief that you want to believe and download it. It's kind of amazing that that's what we need to do in order to reset and to change our thoughts and beliefs, is just with focus and practice. So I believe in you. You can do it. So here we go. I'm going to just mentally say yes to receive these. And here we go. I accept, acknowledge, and allow the world to be so. I know what it feels like to connect with people with or without a device addiction. I am the center and focus of connections and conversations. I am seen, heard, and understood by others, regardless of device habits. I'm surrounded by people full of drive, passion, and vibrancy. I connect with people dear to my heart, whom are important in meaningful ways. I witness my family thriving and being cared for by the universe, just as I am, and know it to be true. I allow my family to experience life how they choose to. I trust that my family members know what's best for themselves at any given moment. My family has the right to thrive and prosper. I know how to be around my family without taking on their suffering. When I take on my family's suffering, it changes to light and love instantly. Take that mindful breath or two or three or four. Pause if you need to, and we'll move on. Congratulations if you've done this work. You're brave and courageous. You're doing the work. You're doing it. You're making it happen. So incredible. Using the companion PDF worksheet, feel free to workshop this out, a people template, or do it in your head, consciously working with what you want versus what you don't want. When you have it sorted out in your head, it's easier to then unleash your beautiful intuition, your soul, to navigate your life and tell you the real deal, the whole what's really happening. So I put this up here. It's in the companion PDF just to kind of illustrate how you can use the informed intuition method to create templates. There's some prompts here. Make a list of the different types of people in your life and what types of outcomes and engagement do you want in general. You deserve the world. You have a right to thrive and prosper and to receive the abundance, receive the type of life that you want. And so how you do this is just consciously create these little templates of how how you want things to work out. Organize a list what works best for you. So for, just to give you an example, I love examples. It helps me a lot. So I wanted to add this in for you. Just like a template for work, like how do you want to interact with work friends or peers or superiors, neighbors, friends, family, mom, friends, communities, and then list any challenges or concerns that are a priority, the issues. And then also, just as important is like what you want. It's not we want to just not focus on what we don't want, but we also have to tell ourselves what we do want. Because when we tell ourselves what we do want, that's putting it out there to the universe so that the universe can bring it back. If you don't tell the universe what you want or yourself what you want or believe that you can have it, and then you just don't really know what's going to happen. So it's just much easier to do that. And, everybody's template is different. This is purely optional. Everybody has different core values, soul drivers, outcomes they want, successes, parameters, priorities, and so on. So for me, I'll just give you an example. For me, like having children, I had such a phobia. I had several phobias, but one of my top three were I had a kidnapping phobia. And this came from my childhood because I actually was kidnapped by a family member. That's a whole other story. I wrote about it actually in my first book, my self-help memoir. But anyway, so we have these things that happen to us that then it's a defining thing in our lives that then kind of guide us in healthy and unhealthy ways throughout our lives. And so I've been very conscious of this. I've done a lot of work on myself around this traumatic event that happened to me when I was 12. And and then how it would, I knew it was going to be impacting me as a parent. And so just being conscious of that, working on it, but then also being honest with myself and accepting that, yes, this is a vulnerability for me that I'm working on, and to allow and accept that it's a sensitivity, and to make accommodations for it, to take care of myself so that I can be true to myself and help myself. I also was very nervous and kind of paranoid about the sex offender list. So I was the one, this is before the internet, when my first child was born, looking at the, online, just at websites that took forever to load, to see if there's if there were, what offenders live near me. I was hyper vigilant, at parks, never left my child alone. And that went throughout the rest of my those key child rearing years. But that's just me. And then other people, it may not be a thought, or just maybe a thought that runs in the background, and there's other things that are a priority. So, so just offering that up as examples of things, and to not feel bad about those things. Again, that old paradigm, the patriarchal system of feeling shame or guilt about your past and things that have happened to you. And, again, not playing into like being a victim either, but just allowing that, yeah, these are things that happened. They're not ever going to be pleasant thinking about it, and to kind of work with it, work with yourself, work with your wounds, so to speak. And that working with your wounds, acknowledging your wounds, doesn't mean that you're a weak person. And just the opposite, that you're addressing and acknowledging all of who you are, and not pretending that you're something, like a computer or something. And then the other thing I wanted to share, which might be helpful too, because I like examples, and so maybe this would be helpful, is that I think I typed this in, my latest template for people in my life, especially people that are close to me, the people that are in my inner circle, and what I want ideally to be what those relationships, what I want in those relationships, what I want them to be like. So uh, here are some words that might be helpful to you. So the first one is harmonious. I want to have harmonious relationships. I want to have nourishing relationships with healthy boundaries, compassion, reciprocity, acceptance, uh, relationships where I feel like they believe in me and feel that who I feel good enough around. I want to feel good around these people in my life. People that have inherent curiosity about me and life, uh, that they like to talk about anything, feel safe and seen and secure. I want to feel loved. I feel that people that I can do stuff with, that have integrity, honesty, trustworthiness. I know trust is a big thing, and trust, again, comes from your intuition. So the more you work with your intuition and you allow it in, the more trusting you can be, because you will have that discernment. So when we are grounded and we're connected to our intuition and have that discernment, then we trust. So it's really it's like makes things complicated, but that's just how life works with our intuition and trust, because trust comes from that intuitive side. It's not something you can't force your brain to trust. So again, so all right, back to some of the examples. So yeah, I want to have daily interactions that are filled with these elements. This is what I deserve, and you deserve it too. Whatever's on your list, you have a right to this abundance, and to thrive and prosper, and to feel good and experience joy and happiness, and not just toil away at and suffer, doing things. Um, so anyway, yeah, and of course, I don't have this standard, this template for everyone. It's just the closest people, and then it's not like the cashier at the grocery store, or anybody that I come across, just different activities, or the car repair guy, or if it's a teacher that your child has, um, you know, that's not what I expect, or I imagine you wouldn't expect that. So our needs are different and based on the person and level of connection. And so it's up to you to decide. This is your life you get to create. So enjoy creating and using your beautiful imagination to help you with the scaffolding of that. So that's why we have our imagination, because we create in our minds and into the non-physical, which then we then bring it in and manifest, as we say, manifest into the physical. But it starts as a thought, right? Anything in your life, think about it, starts as a thought, and then it becomes into your life as something real. So I believe in you and your ability to create your life more and to create more of what you want and with less focus on what you don't want. So addressing what you don't want and you know, getting rid of those intuition blockers and making way for those intuition builders in your life so that your intuition is more easily accessible more and more each day, just with consciously choosing you and your intuition more and more each day with practice. And then last but not least, here's a mantra for you. This is what works for me. I'm somebody, my personality and my constitution, I run pretty, sometimes pretty ungrounded and anxious. And so these work for me. And you may have something different, but just as an example. I run these mantras often, even as I am in directly like social situations are happening and interactions with people in my house or anywhere. I'm sometimes thinking these things in the back of my mind, especially breathing. Sometimes I'll be interacting and just listening to my breath as like a secondary thing, or sometimes as a primary focus as I'm interacting, and it helps. It helps so much, and I promise you, give it a try and see what happens. See what magic you create in your life, what you allow in. So here we go. All right, back to the mantras. I listen and breathe as I go about my daily interactions. I engage without defensiveness, apprehension, and anticipatory anxiety. Anticipatory anxiety is a hard word to say. Sorry about that. So yeah, I hope you find this all helpful, and I welcome you to review any of the other modules if you haven't. It'll all make so much more sense, and you'll get more out of it if you can and do, if you choose to, if you feel guided to. And I'm here if you have any questions. Just feel free to email me, and I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I'm excited for you. So until next time.